What is a harsh reality that everybody needs to hear? You gotta walk your dogs. I heard someone put it this way, which really hit home. To you, it may feel like a chore, but to your dog, it's probably their favorite part of the day. My dogs live for their walks. Working from home really made that blatantly obvious. I used to skip walks sometimes, but after seeing them all day, just waiting around to sniff the world, I don't skip walks anymore. That, and my one girl is getting older, and you realize how much they deserve while they are here. I have doubled the park trips too. The gut-wrenching version. A dog is part of your life, but for them you are their entire life. Yes, please adopt a dog whose activity needs realistically match what you will do. High-energy needs dogs shouldn't be adopted into families that cannot adequately provide them with enough exercise. Walking is also not just about exercise, but mental stimulation. If you don't want to take your dog on long walks, adopt a little senior pup and take one leisurely stroll a day. Edited to add, so glad to hear so many people are doing this already. Here's a little dog tax to say great job. I adopted a rat terrier last winter. The breed is high energy, but she seemed pretty chill. We worked hard on learning how to dog, and by the time she mastered that and was ready for adventures, I really hurt my knee, so she was pretty limited to potty breaks. She seemed okay, but was a little naughty about escaping and running around. When I started taking her to my horse stable and letting her run wild with the other dogs, her behavior at home got so much better. Just because dogs seem content with no exercise or adventures doesn't mean they aren't craving them. That last part is super important. Just because your dog seems fine doesn't mean they don't mind not going outside. If you can't afford the time to take out your dog at least once a day, it will really hurt their overall health and well-being. If you want a dog but can't keep up with the demand of constant walks, think about getting a senior dog like the last person mentioned. On the other hand, a dog can also be a great way to get your butt outside to become more active and healthy yourself. Physical appearance matters. Almost everyone is shallow, and if you are ugly, people might treat you as inferior and you will have disadvantages in almost every aspect of life. Pretty privilege or halo effect, look that up. As an ugly person, I confirm. Or fat. I've lost 70 pounds and I get treated differently. I'm curious to hear, if you don't mind. I'm an introverted, shy person, but I've had to develop leadership skills because I keep getting forced into leadership roles. Why? Because I'm a tall man with a deep voice. That's legit the only reason I can think of. It's some primal instinct from childhood or something that still gives me more of a say in group settings than I really ought to have. This is so true though. Like, it might not be something anyone wants to hear, but it really is this harsh reality that if you are good looking, opportunities will arise for you more often than a less attractive person. For example, just imagine two people who have the exact same credentials and experience. They both apply for a job and get a video interview. 99% of the time, the better looking person will get that job. It is so unfair, but a lot of times it isn't even a conscious thing that the hiring person is doing either. Basic human nature is to gravitate more towards attractive people. It is wired into our subconscious. Most people should not be on social media of any kind because they cannot handle what it does to them mentally. It is not about socialization, it's about corporations monetizing your life. Many of us were the frog slowly boiled in the monetization of the internet. We started out when it was a place corporate media laughed at, and we had our space and our fun and were left to ourselves. Slowly ads and marketing and data collection creeped in, and none of us noticed that the internet fundamentally changed. Some of us did, even subconsciously, but we were already engaged, habituated. Now it can seem very hard to pull away and find some meaningful life that isn't connected to everyone else 24/7. Seriously, I don't think people realize just how poorly social media really affects us because it is so ingrained in our daily life and brain. It's almost impossible to cut yourself off from social media without isolating yourself from the world. Your life can be changed forever in the blink of an eye. You have to deal with it or die. I'm 62. I went to run errands one day with my beautiful wife of 42 years, and I came home 2 hours later, a widower. She died of a massive heart attack in the passenger seat. That was about 13 months ago. It's been hard, but I'm still here thanks to some wonderful people in my life. Jesus, this really does just show how valuable and unpredictable life can really be. It sounds so cliché, but seriously, try to live your life every day like it is your last. Life is such a precious thing, and although it may seem like you have an infinite amount of time when you are younger, you will regret not doing more as you get older. It won't just happen. I spent a lot of my early 20s being sad and defeatist, feeling sorry for myself. I always coped with this by telling myself that I'd make something of myself eventually, and meet a woman eventually, and be happy eventually. The truth is, eventually doesn't come if you don't make it come. Improvement has to be proactive. You can end up 40 years old, living with your parents, playing video games all day, and with no motivation. Nothing will prevent that from happening other than you. Thanks. I've stagnated and needed to hear this. If it helps, momentum builds and eventually good choices start paying exponential returns. Hard at first, though, when you're stuck in a rut. Forgive yourself and step forward again. If this isn't the motivation you need to get off your butt and start doing the things that will put you in a position to succeed, then I don't know what is. Go out and take it, people. It won't fall in your lap. Whatever you say can and will be used against you. A closed mouth gathers no foot. This saying works in almost every situation. Yup, even defense attorneys will tell you, don't say crap, just don't. There is absolutely nothing you can say that will help you. If a cop wants to arrest you and charge you, they will. If they don't, talking will give them a reason to. I tell my clients that they can't talk their way out of charges, but they can easily talk their way into them. Yup, just keep your mouth closed and let your lawyers do the talking. It's so hard in the moment to realize this, but it is so important. If you catch a cop on a bad day, you can easily get ridiculous charges. It may be hard to do in the moment, and they really do have this sneaky way of making you feel comfortable enough to talk, but often that is just a trick. Be mindful when you find yourself in this position. You can love someone with all of your heart and not be loved back in the same way. I wasted a lot of time in my life either being too stupid to learn this, or at the very least, too stubborn to admit it to myself. My stupid heart decided it would rather go the rest of my life pining over the one I don't have rather than move on. My head is furious, my lungs indifferent. Time is the ultimate currency, my friend. You can't have more. Spending it on someone is the ultimate show of love, but reciprocation is important to all relationships. Do you think that after all the time you've spent that has gone unrequited? If this person were to one day realize the potential you've known for so long, that it would feel the way you hope? My experience is that it does not. Go out and live. Pursue passions that don't rely on the whims of others. Hopefully, somewhere along the way, you find someone you feel strongly about who recognizes the value of the time you want to spend with them. If not, you've still lived a life you can be proud of. Also, truly being in love with someone and letting someone love you because it's the comfortable and easy thing to do are two different things. I ended up staying in a relationship for 3 years where I was so in love, but I think the guy mostly was just sticking around for guaranteed sex, someone to split bills with, and someone who liked to cook them dinner. It took me so long to realize I was pulling all the weight until I got into personal burnout or something. I ended it over 3 years ago, and I'm still not remotely interested in any kind of dating, hooking up, or anything. Just leave me in my apartment in peace for the foreseeable future. Thanks. That makes me feel better. 2.5 years removed here, and I feel the same way. Just curious if you don't mind. How do you know that they were with you just out of complacency? I just had really strong suspicions that I tried ignoring for a long time. I would do things for him like try anything he wanted sexually, cook for him most nights, keep a list of things he said he liked, so I could give good birthday gifts, took initiative when it came to planning dates or taking trips together, pretty much did anything he asked, etc. However, when it came to him, he showed up late to literally everything that was planned with me, despite always being on time for work or class. Often flirted with other girls in front of me, forgot my birthday all 3 years, and forgot pretty much anything I told him about that was important to me. He would take me to parties with his friends, and if any of them harassed me, he just shrugged it off, like getting my butt grabbed by his friend right in front of him, and him not caring was really something. He wouldn't initiate anything romantic or even really just friendly with me unless it was about his sexual pleasure, threatened to leave me anytime I told him he'd hurt my feelings, would pretend he was busy anytime I asked for help with something, etc. It's embarrassing that I stayed for so long, but I thought it was all I deserved. Now I can see I wasn't valued as a person in that relationship, and I just don't have it in me to get into anything new with someone. That last person is the perfect example of not knowing you're in a bad relationship until it's too late. There was a lot of abuse going on there, and I'm glad she was able to climb out of it eventually. For anyone else who gets treated like this, I really hope you can see this as your wake-up call and find someone that values you as a person. It may take a long time, and you cannot force something that's not there, but when you do finally find that person, everything will be perfect. Just be patient and know that there is someone out there who will treat you like a king or a queen.